Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Each and every day more than 300 billion emails are sent and received worldwide. That is more than 200 million per second. So if you want to make sure that your emails are read and responded to, you'll learn some tips on that today. You will get the first part of our series on how to professionalize your emails. We'll talk about 3 basic rules you should consider for each email and longer document you write. You'll learn 3 easy to implement tips that will have a lasting influence on how you think about and write emails. If you're new to this channel, we help you advance your career and become a more respected colleague, friend and spouse with easy to implement tips for every day. If that sounds interesting to you, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. So without further ado, let's dive into this. The fact that email providers don't charge per email sent is a blessing and a curse. So many useless emails are sent every day, so many meaningless words are spewed out that they become a burden and limit the time for discussion, reflection, and action. In 2021, more than 300 billion emails are sent and received each and every single day, and this number is expected to rise to 360 billion within the next 2 years. So there's a plethora of emails out there, and you need to make sure that your emails are not going under, but are read, understood, and responded to. In our series, Professionalize Your Emails, you will learn how to write well, fast, and get ahead of the competition. We believe good writing is more than just a nice-to-have soft skill that everyone already knows how to do. Much more, good writing is a key driver for productivity. We kickstart the series today with 3 ground rules that you can consider in every email that you write. Let's start with tip number 1. Make sure your first sentence passes the "so what" test. It is important that you make clear to your recipient right from the start what you want from them. You have no claim on their time. So if there's a chance that your readers might ask after your opening sentence, "so what?" or "why is this relevant to me?" then you need to go back, revise the opening so that it's very clear to them why they should keep reading. Don't fall into the trap of "I'll get there later. I'll explain later what I want with my email." There is no later. If you don't tell the reader from the get-go why he should keep on reading, you're putting him internally to sleep and you motivate him to click next, delete, or even spam in the worst case. So let's have a look at some good opening sentences. The first opening sentence is a perfect example on how to combine a clear request with minimal background. So the sender is asking clearly for data on the average number of training days over the past years. And he's providing a minimal amount of context that is necessary to understand why this data is useful to the sender. The second example is a clever way of combining a request for questions with the delivery of a certain document, in this case, recommendations regarding the handling of cloud storage. So here he not only delivered that document, but he combined in his sentence his request for questions that might arise after reading these recommendations. The third opening sentence is a good example on how to get a check mark for every necessary preparation step for a meeting. So it says who is part of a meeting: Jerome, I, the sender, and the one who is receiving the mail. When the meeting shall take place, next week, and what would be the content of the meeting or the purpose of the meeting. It's to discuss the project pipeline for the next quarter. Let's continue with tip number 2. Make sure you put your key point first in the topic sentence of every paragraph. When writing an email, never write to build suspense. We have mystery novels for that. Your readers pay attention to the first or maybe the second sentence of a paragraph, and then their attention drops dramatically. So by the middle of the second sentence, your reader is either hooked or has already skipped to the next paragraph. Begin every paragraph with highlighting information that is important for your readers. And if you have trouble to decide which information is really important for my readers, in most cases, it's not the information about you or your firm. So think about, from your reader's perspective, what is beneficial information for them. What provides value for them, and start with that information in your first sentence. So let's put 2 emails side by side that carry the exact same information. Can you guess which one is read and which one will be ignored. Without even reading the emails entirely, one looks already better structured and much easier to grasp. The writer has put in the effort to structure his thoughts and made it easier for the reader to approach the text. Every paragraph begins with a clear thought. So let's look in comparison at the poorly written email and let's see whether we can find what the writer really wants from us. It takes the writer almost the entire email to come to the point where he tells us what he wants to do. The second email in comparison is much clearer. Every thought is brought up at the beginning of the paragraph and is therefore much easier to digest for the reader. When you are done writing, review your topic sentences and make sure they create an outline for the key points you want to bring across. That leads us to ground rule number 3. Put your readers first and only include information that is relevant to them. That is easy, almost trivial to understand, but hard to master. To determine what information should go in your email and what you should exclude, you need to separate important from unimportant detail. So the main question is, how do I do that? How do I find out what is relevant and what is irrelevant for my reader? To answer this question, you need to take your reader's perspective and ask yourself, is this point of information valuable to me? Is this point of information making my decision better? Or do I need this point of information to do what the writer wants me to do? Your email should never be about yourself or your firm. That's a narcissistic approach. Your email should be about the reader and what he needs to do what you want him to do. Putting your reader first in a commercial context means that you need to show your reader how they will benefit from you and your firm. In other words, make sure that you highlight your product's added value, the added value of your information, and how they will benefit from your services instead of just describing features. Reassure your clients that you understand their constraints and limits, whether that is time constraints, budget constraints, or economic challenges in general. Avoid sending out letters that are so general that you could have sent them to any client. Whenever possible, personalize those emails so that the reader understands that you really had him in mind when you sent the email. When presenting your firm, do it without pretense. Your client usually doesn't want to know how many awards your CEO has, how big your firm is, or how many years of combined experience your team has. The client is interested in how you can help him to achieve his goal. So in one sentence, put your reader first, put the information in that is important to them, but leave out what you might know, but what is not relevant and important for them. So there you have it, our most basic rules when writing an email. What other rules do you have when you write an email? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to make sure that your readers not only read your email, but also respond to, stay tuned for upcoming videos. You'll get a powerful template for writing the perfect request email, learn how to convey bad news via email, and so much more. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss out a helpful video. So long, take care, and see you next time.